Hey guys, welcome back to another video on Budget with a July Dreamer. My name is Miranda, and in today's video I will be sharing with you my March budget recap. Then I want to cover my April mid-month budget check-in, and then we are also going to be looking at my mock budget for the month of May. So today's video is a trifecta, and I did it on purpose because I recently had a pay rise at work. I have adjusted my contributions, and I wanted to see how that will impact my budget moving forward, especially as we've now started a new financial year, so 2025 into 2026. So there's been a lot of changes that I've made with my salary sacrifice, and I talked about this a little bit in my pension video, which you can check out and is always linked in the cards or in the description bar below. So without further ado, let us begin today's video. I do have my trusted coffee here because I've just come back from London. It is currently 5:45 on Monday, 14th of April 2025. So let us do this. I have my trusted laptop, and I have also my notebook here where I have written down my mock budget. I will not be doing a screen record, but I will be sharing with you everything on the screen. So let me see if I can move a little bit. I hope I'm creating enough room, because with this camera I'm filming on my Olympus pen. I can't really tell where I am, and I need to figure this camera out. But anyway, so I'm going to start first off with my March budget. So with my March budget, I had a couple of top priorities that I wanted to work on. So I wanted to pay all my annual bills that I had due in the month of March, and I was able to do that. I wanted to pay off my credit cards. I was able to do that. All my credit cards except my Nationwide credit card. Then I wanted to pay off my tax bill. I did that, and I wanted to pay extra towards my personal loans. I was able to do that as well. So, and then I was able to do everything else that I wanted to do in terms of personal life and all of that good jazz. So coming first off to my income for the month of March. So for those of you who don't know how I budget, I get paid in the middle of the month, and then I take a portion of that income, save it for the next month for my bills, because all my bills come out on the first of the month, and I've done that on purpose, and I don't intend on changing it. And then so I often have leftover money that goes into the new month, so I count that. So in terms of all the monies, including the rollover money that I brought in the month of March, my total income came to 17,539 and 77 pence. So this is not my normal monthly pay, but March is my bonus month, so I got my bonus. And yeah, so let's talk about where all of that money went. So first, I believe in the principle of paying yourself first. For me, this looks like investing, paying towards my debt, and then sending towards my savings as well. So starting off first with my investing. With my investing, I wanted to send at least £1,000 towards my investing. I was £86 and 6 pence short from that, which I don't mind. I was still able to send over £900 towards my investing, and I'm happy about that. So happy with how that went. Then when it came to my debt, I do have 2 personal loans and 1 credit card, and then all of my other credit cards that I'd spent on put charges on them, I was able to pay all of them off in the month of March. So I budgeted £3,000 towards my debt, and I actually sent almost £6,000. So I sent 5,919 and 50 pence, which is quite a lot, but there was a lot of charges that I wanted to clear on my credit cards, because like I said, one of my goals was to pay off my credit cards in the month of March. So yeah, so I was able to do that. So that is on the debt front. If we move over towards my savings, so my savings, I'd said I wanted to send at least £2,000 towards my savings. I was able to send £1,000, and initially I did send £2,000, but then my rental properties did what my rental properties have been doing of late, so I ended up sending some of that money instead towards my rental properties. So that's why it's not 2,000 as I planned, and instead it was over £1,000. So that is where my money went in terms of paying myself first. Like I say, the principle of paying myself first is sending towards my savings, sending towards my debt, and send it towards my savings. So I did that first. Now we're going to go to my bills, because it's important, and obviously we don't live in a free, everything being free in this world. So let's look at where my money went in terms of bills. So everything was as I projected, essentially. My home insurance did come out for the month, for the whole year. So for my home insurance, I paid annually. This is why you don't see a monthly charge in my tracker, because I pay annually. I had predicted that there will be about £250, but this actually ended up being 212 and 80 pence, which is great. And then my water bill also came out. I pay for my water bill twice a year, so that is March and I want to say September October time. But yeah, so I was projecting 155 and it actually ended up being 143.76, which again is super great. I'm glad that I had these larger projections, and then the actual bills came out lower than anticipated, so that was really great. So I budgeted £3,000 to go towards these bills. This is because of the annual bills, that's why it was high, but normally my bills are about 2,500 or less. And I know somebody did make a comment about this when I was sharing my March budget, about, you know, why I would be spending so much money on like my bills, like what I needed to look at what I need to cut back. It's because of my annual bills. Well, by annual bills and annual bills, that's why it was higher. And also I send extra towards my mortgage every single month. So yeah, but anyway, I projected £3,000, and honestly I almost spent that entire £3,000. I only had like 75 pence left. So I'm taking that as a win. I projected 3,000 and I spent 2,999.25 pence. So almost £3,000. So that is with the bills. So again, nothing too different from what I normally do, except for my health and wellness. I don't know why I had projected £400 for my health and wellness, because my health and wellness is a minimum 450, because that includes my wellness coach, and that's 125, therapy, that's 230, then I've got monthly Pilates, weekly swimming lessons. So yeah, I don't know why I projected less, but anyway, so that one was in red, but otherwise everything else was almost as I had projected. Going to my variable expenses, this is where lives get interesting. So this one had also projected £3,000, but life had life, and I spent a little bit more. So for my groceries, I had said I wanted to send £500 because March was when I was going to go to Costco and do my Costco haul. I did go to Costco, and I actually ended up spending about £60 over than what I had projected. For my subscriptions, I had projected $250, and I was sure I had counted everything, but it was a subscription that was higher than I had expected, and this was my Norton Security. I still have to call them because I haven't. I was expecting that to be at least no more than £50. It came out to almost £100, and I don't know why. Because I didn't get any emails or letters letting me know that my price was doubling or what have you. So I need to speak to them and request my refund, and cancel the whole thing, or find a cheaper plan. But yeah, because of that, I went over by £16. So not too bad, but I was still very miffed about that. Travel, I had projected $250 and I ended up spending $140. Fuel, 100, I spent about 50. Transportation, I projected 100, I spent 70. Restaurant, I projected 100, I spent 70 something. Self-care, I projected 150, but I actually ended up spending a lot more. I spent over £200, and I don't even know what to say, but yeah. So there was a lot of personal care stuff that I wanted to get. Tithe and giving, I said 500, but I sent just under 430. Shopping, I went to town with shopping. I budgeted 100 and I spent almost £500. No crumbs. Household, I projected 100, I spent £100 and 17 pence, so only 17 pence over. A coffee and social, I projected 100, I spent under £50. Miscellaneous, I projected £50 and I ended up spending £867. The reason I spent that amount of money wasn't miscellaneous or anything. It's all because, where is the thing? My previous iPhone died. Well, I say died as in the charging thing disconnected from the motherboard, and when I took it to the iPhone specialist to get it fixed because it wasn't charging anymore, they said it would cost me a lot of money, and for me it made sense to just buy a newer one. So I bought a new iPhone 16 Pro Max, and this cost me, taking away the credit from the other phone, the 14 Pro Max, I ended up spending £779 on this iPhone. So it wasn't part of the plan to buy a new iPhone, but I must say that at the beginning of March, I realized that probably was going to have to do that. Initially, I hadn't budgeted for it, but I ended up doing it. So this is why my miscellaneous is so high. Dental, there wasn't anything for dental. Rental properties, like I said, I had to send some money. I already knew I was going to send about £600, but I ended up sending a lot more than I had projected. I should have tracked it here, but I haven't. I just decided to not track it here. And then for my business, I don't know why I was projecting 100, but I ended up spending £160 because the subscription, I was sure, was coming out on the 1st of April, so would have been part of the April budget. Ended up coming out on the 31st of March. So fell into my March budget, which was very, very annoying. But anyway, so I'm going to claim that back from my business to give me back my money. But yeah, so that is where my money went in the month of March. I brought in over 17,500. I sent £3,000 towards my bills, £4,000 towards my expenses or variable expenses, £1,000 towards my savings, just under £1,000 towards my investment, and almost £6,000 went towards debt. And in debt, that includes my taxes. So I paid off all of my taxes as well. So I sent extra towards my personal loans, to paying off all of my credit cards, but also my taxes. So that is where my money went in the month of March. Now, if we quickly jump over to the month of April, so I have just gotten paid for the month of April, and so far all of my bills have been paid. And today, tomorrow, my investments come out, because I like to pay myself first, like the day I get paid or the day after. So my investments will get their monies tomorrow, no, on the 16th. Same thing with some of my loans, but the majority will get their monies tomorrow. And I'm also going to be just re-looking at my budget and moving things around. But so far I seem to be tracking well. Like I said, almost all of my bills have been paid, and I also made a decision to cancel my TV license. So my TV license renewal was due this month, but it had gone up, and I don't watch live TV anymore. I haven't watched live TV for about 5 years. So I don't know why for the last 5 years I've been paying for TV license, but because I don't really watch live TV, like, at all. I'm a streaming service household. But anyway, so I finally decided to just cancel. They said they might send someone to come and check if I'm using anything, and I don't mind them checking, but I haven't used live TV for many, many years. So bills were tracking well, projected 2,800. And yeah, what would have actually raised it? I don't know why. 2,800, what's different? Oh, my council tax went up to 165. So that is why. So my bills are now 2,800 without the annual bills. This is crazy. But yeah. In terms of my variable expenses, we're tracking well. I've already gone over my tithe and giving, but that's always a good thing to be over in tithe and giving. And then for travel, I'm already over. I didn't budget anything for travel, but I've already spent over £700. This is because I bought flights for next month, but the airline has cancelled them for no reason whatsoever. So I'm anticipating that I'll get my money back and I'll remove that from the tracker, but we shall see. But right now I have already overspent on travel. Where else have I? And miscellaneous had zero. I didn't budget anything, but I've already spent some money in miscellaneous. But otherwise, I'm okay. I'm moving okay there. Savings, we haven't done anything with savings. And debt, like I said, days I'll start entering them as I pay them, and I'm expecting the next 3 days this week essentially for all of this to go through. But otherwise, we're tracking really well for all of my for my April budget. So yeah, we're doing okay for April. Okay, so for May, I have done a quick mock budget because, like I said, I write everything down. So for the month of May, my DVLA is coming up. So for the car tax thingy, I am waiting for them to send me an email. I haven't yet received an email from them. I should have it in the next few days, but I don't have it yet. So that's not yet in my tracker, but I'm waiting for my DVLA which will change my budget. Everything else, like my mobile, which is higher because I changed the plan that I'm on. So that's a little bit higher, and I like to make sure I track all of this as well, just so I know what is coming up. But other than that, everything else seems to be honky-dory. So I think my budget for May will probably, the things that I need to pay for will be about 2,800 immediately as we enter May. And then once I figure out at the end of the month of April, if I need to travel, then I will probably add something for travel as well. But I still have about a week and a half before I have to film my May budget. But for now, May is looking okay. But there's a lot of things that are uncertain until I hear back from the airline. I hear from the DVLA to let me know how much they'll be taking for the car. It goes up every single year and it's getting crazy now. So yeah, but that is my budget. This is how I budget even though I budget for the first to the last day of the calendar month and I get paid in the middle of the month, I still like to spend some time doing mid-month budget check-ins, weekly budget reviews, and then my usual monthly budget. I look through everything. So I start off with paying myself first. So how am I doing with my investments? How am I doing against my debt? How am I doing with my savings? Then I look at my bills. My bills don't often change, but every new financial year a lot of them go up. So I like to make sure I am on top of that to see what are those little changes, because it's these little changes that end up increasing your budget. Like I said, in my Q1 review, looking back at my budget back when I bought this house, all my bills were about 1,500. Over the years, things have increased. Now 1,500 is what I paid just for my mortgage. That's how crazy things have turned out. So now I have moved from 1,500 for everything to about 3,000 pounds. So my bills have practically doubled in the last 5 years, which is crazy to me. But alas, these are the times that we are living in now. But yeah, this is the budget, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video real soon.